Do you read me? Come in, please.
If you can hear me, I'm going to attempt to send that QSB song through now. Pretty
good. You're close, I've got you.
Hi, my name is Greg Jurens, K5GJ. I'm the head of sales and marketing for Flex Radio. We're here at the Huntsville Ham Fest showing off our latest and greatest product, the new Flex 6000 Signature Series. This is a next generation in software-defined radio. As you may know, Flex Radio has been in business for 10 years, and we brought software-defined radio to the ham radio market. First with our SDR 1000, then the 1500, 3000, 5000. Those are direct conversion software-defined radios. So it uses a single conversion from RF and then A to D capture into software. We've taken that to the next step with our new Flex 6000 series, where we're doing direct RF sampling. So it's a direct sampling receiver. It pulls the entire HF spectrum from 10 kilohertz to 77 megahertz into the radio, and then immediately does sampling, capture, and processing in a combination of field programmable gate arrays, DSPs, and media processor. One of the biggest changes between our existing Flex Series line and the new Signature Series is that we've brought all the heavy lifting, all of the RF processing, into the radio. And so we can very tightly control the performance, the power, and the latency of the process. The upshot of that is two. Number one, it gives us incredible ability to control stuff based on time and get better accuracy and linearity and performance. Secondly, it allows us to do something very cool. I talked about this capture where we capture the entire spectrum in. We call that a spectral capture unit. Then what we can do is we can slice that spectrum up and deliver it to the user in slice receivers. As a matter of fact, on our Flex 6500, you can have up to 4 slice receivers, and on the 6700, it actually has 2 spectral capture units and allows you to be working on different antennas at the same time. It also allows you to have up to 8 slice receivers at the same time. So what does that mean? So what? Well, the deal is that imagine chasing DX, if you're a DXer, and you're watching, say, HK0NA, and you've got your beam pointed at them, and you're working them on 20 meters. Now you can literally look up at your screen and see if you can hear them on 80, 40, 17, 20, 15, or you can be working them on 20 CW, watching for them on 20 RIDI, while listening for them on 20 sideband at the same time. So it really changes the way that software-defined radio works in terms of your user performance. Another way to do this would be in a contest environment. You could take a single Flex 6000 series radio and you can convert. You could be running a run station. You could be receiving, looking for multipliers at the same time, and oh, by the way, shipping audio off to, say, a CW skimmer type product at the same time off the same radio. From a DXpedition standpoint, imagine racking up a rack of 6000 series radios, taking them out to a desert island, setting your radio and your antennas and everything else up on the beach, and running an Ethernet cable back to the convenience of the hut or the air-conditioned space. So that really changes the way that you think about operating. Now naturally this kind of leads to this whole concept of remote ham radio. Many people live in deep restricted communities these days, and this is a big problem. You can't have antennas here or antennas there. Well, with the Flex 6000 series, it gives us the opportunity to set up clusters of radios, because this is a radio server, so that you can set one or more of these radios up, say at a club station, in the neighborhood or in another neighborhood or out in the country even, and then be able to remotely connect to them, log in with your client software, which is a very thin client, and be able to play radio. A stack of 4 Flex 6700s, for instance, we had a stack at Dayton that was about this tall. 4 6700s is 32 receivers and 4 transmitters, all connected via Ethernet. So it's a very compact, very easy to handle case, very rugged. So what else about this new direct sampling radio technology is important? Well, in the case of the Flex 1500 to 5000 series, there's a single mixer. With direct sampling, we've taken that last mixer out. With a single capture, all that you have to worry about is just getting the data, getting the RF into the radio somehow. With no mixers means much, much less distortion. So the problem is that as a community, we've always kind of gone down the super heterodyne multi-conversion radio. Well, every time you do a conversion from one stage to another, you have an LO, local oscillator, and a mixer, and some amplifiers, and some filters. Well, every one of those components is nonlinear, and those nonlinear components all generate noise. That noise ends up in your ears as intermodulation distortion. So you want to be able to do everything you can to get rid of that to have the highest linearity. Well, it doesn't get any better than sticking an antenna connector right into the digitizer, the spectral capture unit, and driving it right into software. From there on out, everything is in software, and we can build filters that don't ring. We can build filters that don't have intermod, because we can deal with that in software. It also gives us a great opportunity to do some amazing things with the both ends of the received spectrum. At one end, you worry about signal to noise, you worry about minimum discernible signal, and you worried about dynamic range. What we found is that you really want to get above 100 dB dynamic range. Now our Flex 5000 is right there, but how do you go better? Well, this technology allows us to do that. So our spec says we're above 100 dB dynamic range. I can only tell you right now that we're well above 100 dB dynamic range. So now we're working at the bottom of the list. The bottom is called phase noise. That's the noise of the oscillator inside the radio. Oscillators usually, in a case of the super heterodyne, you have multiple oscillators, multiple clock generators, lots of noise. We have a single clock generator in this radio running at way over 900 megahertz, and that clock generator is very, very quiet. It actually is so quiet, we put out a spec that says it's better than minus 147 dBc, and that's below carrier at 10 kilohertz. That's basically way below the environmental noise floor of any receiver. So the clock generator is not going to be generating noise in the receiver. Those are the two major limitations of any high-performance receiver today, and we believe that we've really nailed both sides of that. Of course, it's a transceiver, which means it transmits. The good news about direct up conversion transmitting, again, no mixers in the transmitter. It's all being done by envelope wave generation of both audio and digital and CW directly in the transmitter using that same low noise oscillator. So we're generating an extremely clean, phase noise free, not free, there is no free lunch, but very low phase noise signal. And why is that important? Well, if you're in a field day environment or a multi-multi contest, when you guys have all seen this, where this transmitter comes on and you see the noise for this receiver jump up, even if it's not on the same band. Well, that's the phase noise of the traditional radio that just keyed up. So if you've got very low phase noise on this transmitter, this receiver isn't going to hear it. So these radios are very well suited for multi-multi and field day type contesting environments. Just to help out across the entire spectrum, we've got a new filtering technology on the transmit. It's very, very well suited for Mars applications, solar control type applications, where we've really tried to keep our signal clean across the entire HF spectrum. Of course, it's got a 100-watt continuous duty PA. We've actually redesigned our PA architecture. It's higher performance, much more efficient. And then lastly, we put in an antenna tuner design. We actually really demon tweaked an antenna tuner design in the Flex 3000. So we've brought that architecture over and put it in here and actually done some additional tweaking on it to make it much, much faster. So with the Flex 6000, this is the combination of all of our commercial government defense type receivers plus 10 years of history in the Flex Series ham radio along with the new Smart SDR software. Kind of all rolled together, and that's the product. We're going to be shipping the end of Q4 this year and in volume production, so we're real excited about it. Can't wait to get a bunch of them on the air, get them out, and show them off to everybody. Thanks for your time. Thanks for coming by the Huntsville Ham Fest.